I'm laughing because this is about the third time I've done this. I'm recording it on my phone this time. I've usually got one of these little Zoom recorders, excuse me, furgling around behind, but I'm recording it on my phone, so I'm hoping the sound quality is going to be okay, better than actually from the camera. Anyway, it's, fingers crossed, middle of September. We've been down the last couple of days, really just sort of harvesting, probably like the rest of you, harvesting, clearing things up and trying to work out where things are going to start going next year. But I've got a fair bit of waffling to do at the end, so I'm going to leave you now and show you what we've been doing and then come back to you.
Oh, that's good. Huh.
Mike's digging up the last of our potatoes, which we haven't had a great harvest this year, have we, Mike?
No.
But what we have had have been pretty good. So these are now the last of the pink fir apples, which I've shown you before. Oh, they're weirdest looking potatoes. Let's just have a look. Well, this isn't so weird, but you can see they're not a great size, but they just taste gorgeous. These actually, that's more like the thing that you, you tend to get, but they're a lovely salad potato, really, really good, and you can't get them in the shops, so which is why we've done them. So not a huge harvest of them. Mind you, that's just one plant, but really well worth it. Pea beans have done pretty well this year. I haven't harvested any yet because I'm going to let them dry on the vine, but something I'm not sure about, and I can't remember, to be honest. I mean, that is not quite dry yet, that's at the leathery stage, but somebody mentioned stripping the beans off their vines because they were worried about them getting mouldy. Can that happen? I hope not, because I'm waiting for these to dry on, so these will be, I don't know, at least another couple of weeks, and I've got such a lovely harvest. I really don't want anything to happen to them. I mean, I don't know if they're worried because they start to look like this. Is this a problem? You know, I'm going to open one now and have a look. Okay, let's just have a look. This is the one. Now, it's still leathery, you see, so I wouldn't normally have picked it, but I think some people worry about this being like a mould, or, you know, not looking healthy. What I do know, though, that inside is I'm going to find, she says, the most gorgeous coloured beans. Look, they haven't taken on their colour yet. Okay, look at that. Now, okay, it just goes to show there is nothing wrong with the bean, but obviously they're not mature enough yet. Because like the Belotti beans, if you pick them too soon, they haven't got those lovely telltale stripes. Obviously the pea beans aren't quite mature. I'll see if I can pick some that are. Hold on. Okay, so they're the ones out the, let's see where the pod is. This pod. Okay, so that is still quite green. This one, let's see the difference. It's just gone a bit brown, so we'll see if they've started to colour. It doesn't feel like there's many in this one. I'm not having a very good show and tell. Ah, here we go though. Look. So, they are just beautiful things. I said this last year, they're like little jewels. Let me get them in my hand. If I can get them in my hand. Look at that. Can you see? I don't know if you can see. But yeah, little pea beans, little yin yang. And that, oh, there we go. I'm not doing very well with this. There we go. Can you see they've got the colour on compared to the ones that weren't quite ready? These ones. And these ones are slightly smaller. I'm assuming that's because they've dried out a bit more. But they're well worth doing. They are beautiful and they're great to save the seed for next year. So yeah, I'm going to keep them on for longer. I don't know how much the camera is going to pick up, but even though I think you'll agree these flowers are way past their best, they are still attracting so many bees, hoverflies, butterflies, that I'm loath to do anything with them as yet. I certainly don't want to cut them back. I mean, the calendula here Let me show you. This is starting to go mouldy now. It's starting to get a bit mildewy, and I've had all the harvest I want. I could just pull them up. Look, it doesn't look very pretty down there, but I'm not going to, because I want to encourage as many bees as I can, even at this time of year. And then this happens. This bed has served us so well this year with the tomatoes, our squash, cucumbers, onions. We've been so grateful to have it. But I think now is the time we're going to have to start clearing it, because leaves are dying off, things need harvesting. So I think it's time to give it a good sort. Okay, and part of the clear up is going to be to snip these and release them from their leafy vines, and I'm going to put them in the greenhouse, to be honest, just to finish curing, because even though, if I do this, let's have a look. Even though the skin's fairly tough, I can still make a bit of an indentation with my thumbnail. So yeah, I'll put them in the greenhouse for a few weeks, but I want to lift them now because I don't want them to start going manky, to be honest. So that's my next job. Look at that. Oh, crikey, there's a weight in that, you know. I'm really proud of these. Really proud. Apparently bright orange inside. So there's one. Oh, I feel a bit guilty. I'm so proud of them. I'm so pleased with them. And I've had many conversations I've walked by. And ultimately I'm just going to go and eat them. I haven't told them that bit. And this one is upside down. Oh, hello, spider. There we go. Come on. Go on. Yeah. Go now. You see, that's got wood lice on already. Go. Off your pop. There they are. They look a bit manky at the moment because I have put the side that's been on the soil, so that bit, I've done those bits facing upwards so they should dry up a bit better, but yeah, aren't they fab? Third and final lot of onions drying here now. We've got a bay window at home, and the windowsill is covered with onions in various stages of drying out. Honestly, I think the neighbours must know me as the onion witch. Good job I like the smell. Hello. Now I don't know if you remember some time ago, oh that moved. I don't know if you remember some time ago I showed you a rogue plant that seemed to be growing in the squash patch. It looked like a squash. It was given to us as a plant that we were told was winter squash, so I naturally assumed it was a butternut. But what I realised was, unlike the butternut, which were, even though they were only baby size, they were growing beautifully and toughening up as they should. Once this got to about this size, it started to go off. So, as I've just been clearing away now, I've decided to cut inside and see what it is. Now, Mike decided a couple of weeks ago it was a melon, and I told him not to be so silly because we hadn't been given melons. But actually, oh no, I'm left-handed. Right, okay, I'll try and do it this way. I might have to stand in a plant pot. Okay, I've got, let's see, that's better. I've got a camping knife, so it might take some time. But, oh my goodness. Okay. Well, it's certainly tough. Maybe it is a butternut squash. But once it gets past this stage, it does start to go mouldy. So let's just have a little look and see what we think. What do you think? It doesn't really smell of anything at the moment, but I don't know. I'm going to try a little bit further. In fact, I might use a pair of scissors. Thing is, if I use the scissors, right, okay, I reached the centre there. If I use the scissors, they've been used for everything, whereas this knife, I know at least it was clean, if not effective. Right, okay, well if that was a, oh look, it does look like a, is that a melon? Right, the only way to do it is to try some, here I go, dirty fingers. That's a butternut squash! Okay, it is a baby butternut squash. Well, curiouser and curiouser. Okay, well, seamless. That was seamless. Anyway, yeah, as I said at the beginning, it's a funny old time of year, and it's easy to start to get morose and a bit sort of, oh, it's the end of the season, I'll miss it and all that sort of thing. But I was like that about a month ago, but now I'm already getting excited, as I know many of you will be, about the new season and planning for the new season and starting to plan where things are going to grow and thinking about what we've learned. And part of that, of course, is buying seeds or saving seeds or thinking about what varieties of things you're going to grow. And I've been very, very fortunate this year in that a lovely lady, she subscribed to my channel for quite a while, she's a friend on Facebook, Pam Kemp, contacted me a couple of weeks ago and asked if I'd be interested in a few packets of seeds that she could send down. And so obviously, yeah, great, that's brilliant, you know. And then a few days ago, I got this in the post. Oh, there's a moth. Moth, that means autumn, does it? I don't know. And I thought, well, I'd said to Pam that I was going to wait until I filmed and do sort of like a live opening of the box. But to be honest, I got too excited and it got to about, I don't know, Saturday afternoon, and I just thought, I can't stand this, and ripped it open. And wait till I show you. Inside the box, there's some candles, as I showed them to Mum and Dad and they gave me some candles. And I don't know, can you see that from there? I'm going to try and stand up with my phone intact. Hold on. I'm going to show you. Oh, oh, oh.
difficult. A difficult lemon difficult. There are actually, oh, no, I can't show you without tipping them all out, and I certainly don't want to do that. There are 160 packets of seeds. Yes, I've counted them. And, you know, you can't see that way. There are broad beans, there are French beans, there are herb collections, there is sweet corn, there is a whole pack of different tomatoes, different chilies. There's a black chili in here that I'm really excited about. Flowers, I've got evening primrose, I've got actually the pelargonium geranium, which I've never grown from seed before. Really excited about that. Scabious, sage, no, I'm trying to keep them sorted. Chervil, sage, loads of organic veg, and I'm just absolutely thrilled. And so I want to say a big thank you to Pam. It's not just going to benefit us, because certainly with the best will in the world, we are not going to plant that many seeds next year. I might dream that I can, but you know, so there's certainly going to be lots of sharing going on. And I know that a couple of local schools have got gardening clubs, so hopefully we'll be able to, well, yeah, we'll get in touch and pass some things on from them, you know, because they're always after seeds and things like that. So your generosity, Pam, is going to benefit many people, and I can't say thank you enough. It's like an early Christmas present, you know. It's you can't see them all, but believe me, there's loads. Thank you so much. And that leads me on to just being part of a gardening community. It's the generosity of other gardeners is just fantastic. I mean, the pea beans that I tried to show you before, the yin yang beans, I started those with a little packet of seeds sent up from Brian Bastable, because I'd mentioned them on one of his videos and said how lovely they were, and he sent me a packet, and since then, you know, I've been able to grow them, I've been able to pass seeds on. The other day, one of our allotment neighbours popped in, and I was just harvesting some mint, and I'd seen on one of the Facebook groups about making a mint sauce, and it needed mint and apple. Now, we haven't got any cooking apples, well, we haven't got any cooking apples, full stop. And as soon as I mentioned it to our neighbour, I said I just need to get some cooking apples now. He said follow me, and took me down to an allotment where the owner had said, you know, just help yourself to cooking apples. So I came away with 5 large cooking apples for free, just out of generosity, you know. And I think that's very much intrinsic in the gardening community. I don't know if you feel the same. Maybe it's just me. Am I twaddling too much? Maybe I'm reading into it too much. Anyway, pigeon. Anyway, yeah, absolutely wonderful. Oh, and of course there was good old Nigel from Muddy Boots sent me some of his elephant garlic cloves one year, and they grew beautifully last year. And I'm not going to say who used the last one that we were saving to plant this year, but it's a he, and he rhymes with bike. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, thank you, Pam. The other thing I've got, talking about getting ready for next year and talking about garlic, is I have sent away to the garlic farm on the Isle of Wight, which many people have recommended. I've always usually got my garlic either, I think first year I did just try it from Morrison's, or I've got it from Wilko's, because you get pretty good garlic from there. I'm always amazed at the cost of it in like the big garden centres, but there you go. But I really fancy treating myself this year, so I've sent off for one of their elephant garlics, which, look, let's see if I can I hide my face? No, I'm just being silly now. Am I disappearing? Anyway, it's very big. So that's got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 cloves in there. So hopefully that'll be 6 or 7 next year, more than next year, unless you know who decides to eat them. And I've got some 4 of the Solent White, which is apparently very reliable, and I've not grown that before. The early purple white that I grew this year, I have braided. I've got that at home, and I've got to say it's not storing very well, so I was a bit disappointed with that. It might be something I've done, or it might just be the variety, but we use it up pretty quickly anyway. So yeah, so that's next year. That's next year in a box, 2 boxes. And then Mum and Dad have bought some beautiful flowers. It turns out they were Acidanthera from the shop. And they'd noticed on the windowsill there were a few of the black seeds. So they very, very carefully, well, this is the other way I did. This is another lovely thing, isn't it? I'm going to try and, I hope there's not a gust of wind here. Yeah, they very, very carefully, here I go with the phone. Hold on. Oh, don't fall over, Jane. Dusted those seeds up, wrapped them in a bit of kitchen roll, and have challenged me to try and grow them this year or next year. So I am going to give that a go. But again, people just passing on, and if it, you know, it's not always necessarily objects. It can be candles. It can be, you know, the knowledge, what they know. Because however much you think you know, we're all still learning. I know definitely this year, because it's the 3rd year now, that next year my greenhouse is purely tomatoes. I'm not going to bother with them outside. I wasn't going to bother this year, but we were given some extra space, so that was great, and we did get a fair few, but ultimately they got blighted. Fingers crossed, the ones in the greenhouse are still going. I might have to pick them green, but they are still going. So greenhouse next year for tomatoes and chilies, because there's plenty of chilies in the blocks. Cucumbers I'm going to grow outside. Those market more outside came brilliantly. I might start them off a bit earlier because they took quite a long time to come. What else have I learned? Loads of stuff. You don't realise that you're learning it though until the year's gone by and you come to do the same thing again, and then you sort of think, oh no, I did that last year and it didn't work, or whatever. Anyway, yes, I told you I was going to have a waffle. It's got really, really dark now. We did have that sudden downpour yesterday, which basically sent us home. It didn't ease up at all. It's one of these sharp showers that you think is going to go. But I did retreat into the shed and I bought myself a little transistor radio. I didn't even know they still did them. And I had a coffee, and Gardener's Question Time was on. It was perfect. It was so cosy. But nights are definitely drawing in now. It used to be a case of you could come down and spend the evening down here, but nah. Last night we had, well, I showed lit candles at about 6:15. So yeah, autumn's on the way, but I do love this time of year as well. I do love it. I'm going to shut up. Hooray! Okay, I'm going to shut up. Thank you so much, and also thank you to you for all your generous comments, for subscribing, for keeping me going through the year when things have gone right, but mainly when things have gone wrong. It's always nice to hear from you, so I'm going to say thank you and see you again soon. Okay, bye.